Hey YouTube, I'm Baba Rab, and this is my current build in the wind-up deck that I have. I'll just say this right now, I'm at an extreme loss for which direction to take this deck in. I mean, there's so many different engines that you can try. You got the hand engine, Traptrix engine, which I'm currently trying. It's not currently in the deck because I haven't seen how well it will do. I took the Traptrix engine out to use the old engine that I was playing, namely the Card Ds, the Dichotomy, and I think like Forbidden Lance. I took that out for the Traptrix engine, then I put the original engine back in just so you can see what I've been using for most of the format. But I'm trying out the Traptrix engine in real life. I've got a hand version of it online because I don't want to spend 10 bucks on the hands yet. There's like just so many different ways to play the deck right now. Like the Traptrix and hand engines can give the deck a grind game. I could play the deck with like draw power and go for a Magician Shark centralized deck. I'm really, to be honest, I'm at a loss for what direction to take this deck in. I'm not 100% certain. I've been building like so many other decks recently and I haven't paid as much attention to my windups as I probably should have been doing. But the build that I currently have is not bad. I mean, I'm not 100% certain whether it's tournament ready or will do anything in this format. I pretty much guarantee that I probably won't be able to stand up to anything really meta with this deck. But yeah, here's the build I have. Feel free to just leave as many comments as you want recommending ideas for the deck, and I'm gonna listen to them and I will take a look at each of them and see what they're saying and see if I have the cards available there, and you know, just experiment with what you guys say I should try. You know, unless it's something really stupid like saying, oh yeah, play Battle Warrior in the deck, play Red MD, play JD in the deck, because JD is tier 0 and makes every deck good. Or I'll just throw BLS in there, yeah. Because, you know, I got them light and dark targets, got that other stuff in there. I'm going off topic, but we'll continue the deck profile and we'll start actually getting to the deck. So, I'm not putting BLS in this deck. So you're playing 1 wind-up Magician because it's pretty much the only power play in the deck now. 3 wind-up Shark to give the deck, you know, the Shark's the only reason the deck has somewhat of a consistent power play anymore. I mean, Magician's the big push, but still. 3 wind-up Rabbit for the grind games. 3 Rat. I'm not explaining these anymore. 3 Rat, 3 Magician, 3 Rat, 3 Shark, 3 Rabbit, 1 Magician. Still playing the 2 Warriors. If Zen Mighty goes to 1, I'm putting this guy to 1 because 2 is no longer needed. The only reason he's in the deck is because of Invoker, and that's our only substitute for Zen Mighty that's really conventional. So, yeah. 2 Veilers. This is not good against Hat for the most part. I mean, it'll stop your Mermelio plays, but that's it. And, I mean, it can be useful, but I probably need to take it out for something else. Not sure which yet, but I'll figure it out. I mean, once Shadows come up, maybe it'll be of some use, but I think this deck's just going to get wrecked by Shadows. I may even have to freaking start making Skill Drain to beat that deck. But Shadows have an out to that too. Isn't that fantastic? Ryo, because Ryo is still a wicked anti-meta card. Personal bias here, I'd like this guy to go to 3. It would just make the deck quite a bit easier to play because, you know, Ryo's fantastic. Playing the 1 Firefist Bear, haven't changed that from the previous build. Bear still gives the deck fantastic grind games, and I have no complaints about him in the deck, and he's part of the reason why I'm thinking I'm going into more of a grind build than a Summon Magician Shark Go build. 2 Card Ds. This was tried out originally in Yosis' Inca deck. It works pretty well, and I was opposed to playing it in the first place, just like I was Bear, but the deck, it's a high-risk, high-reward card in the deck. Like, you get your extra turn, and if you don't have the defense, your extra turn could end up with you getting completely OTK'd, or the opponent might just throw this giant field down, you would have had no answers for it. So the loss of the turn's a bit of a heavy price to pay, but it's a 50-50. Like, there are times when the card works fantastically. There are times when I wish I didn't have to summon it to draw cards. But, you know, it does what it needs to do. It helps me dig through part of the deck, so, you know, I can't complain. It's really the only... It's so far been working fairly well, I guess. 3 wind-up Factory because you should never play less than 3. 2 Tanky, I might bump this up to 3 just to see what happens. 2 Pot of Duality to give the deck additional consistency. 1 Pot of Dichotomy. Card is absolutely fantastic. I have no objection or no complaints about this card at all. way easier to get off than Avarice. Windups don't really need their battle phase. You can set up a really good field without your battle phase, and you won't need to, like, you know, beat them down that turn. And it gives late game draw power, which helps the deck out even more. Then we're playing one copy of Arzrock Sunrise. This is more just testing until I can figure out how to work in the deck. This card will basically revive your rats, and usually 90% of the time you're going to be getting your rats in the first place, because usually you're going to be drawing into Factory, hopefully. So Arzrock Sunrise is a fantastic card because, you know, as seen with Redox, which I took him out for because Redox is... I started getting into duels basically where I had a Redox and nothing else in my hand, and then I was thinking to myself, well, this isn't working. So Arzrock Sunrise, because you don't need to worry about discarding cards from your hand, and then you can get that rat from your grave without wasting your normal summon and maybe have another rat in hand. So it just extends your power plays and allows you to hopefully get back into the game without having to waste a normal summon. So that's really good. Playing one Lance, dropped it down from 2 because I think I've had several duels where Lance has really not done too much. The Book of Moon, 3 MST, Dark Hole, those are all the spells. And then 4 traps, Torrential, Compulse, Bottomless, Solemn. Bet my Compulse, I'm quite sad, but whatever. Then 3 Fiendish Chain. Holy shit, do windups ever need Fiendish Chain to be successful? The deck is already much slower than most of the stuff in the meta, and this card basically just puts in so much work and allows you to stall so hard. And then the 1 Mirror Force, and that's the main deck. I think it's 41 cards, because I have the habit of playing 41. The Mirror Force is to punish overextension. Moving on to the extra deck. Invoker, your Zen Mighty replacement. Leviair, because it's fantastic. Alucard. This deck has an inherent lack of any kind of destruction whatsoever, and Alucard is a quick and easy generic way to at least pressure your opponent and force them out, force the back row out. So that's fantastic in the deck. Mech-equipped Engineer. I'm not playing Zenmains anymore. I'm playing this because he basically stalls even harder than Zenmains. Zenmains does get the destruction off, but what I've found is that if you're playing against like a synchro-based deck or any deck that can deal with it, if I'm playing like against Heretics or whatever, if I go Zenmains and then he says, okay, cool, Strike Bouncer, I've just taken 1,000 damage and lost my Zenmains, which should have stalled me out, and I'll probably get OTK'd that turn. Versus if I'm playing against something like anything that can make a Stardust Dragon, it's like, oh, you have a Zenmains on the field, cool, I'm gonna make a Stardust Dragon. It's like, well, now Zenmains is completely useless since it's a mandatory destruction effect. Mech-equipped Engineer at least forces your opponent to actually stall, unless they have some kind of way to negate the effect. And again, breakthrough skills running rampant goddamn everywhere. But this thing guarantees a stall for that turn. And then Abyss Dweller, because graveyard decks can go and cry in a corner. I mean, I play Mermels, but that's not important. Diamond Direwolf for spot removal. Maestroke, because it's just all around good. Cowboy, I've never actually used this guy to win a duel before. I've only ever used him to power over stuff. Pappy for the OTK. Utopia, because it's 2,500 and it can give some basic stalls. I mean, this thing should have been good, but there's so many freaking ways to get over it now, which kind of sucks. My own personal tech, Evilstorm Ouroboros. I don't care what everyone else says. I like this card in the deck because he acts as basically bounce spot removal, and that's kind of what I like about it. And then Shark Fortress. I've taken out Adrius. Finally took out Adrius for this guy, and if I can get him out, he's good. And then Tyrus, because Tyrus is really just an all-around powerful rank 5. Volcasaurus, because this card is stupid. And then the complementary Gaia Dragon Force said Volcasaurus. So that's the whole deck. As I said, I'm open to any suggestions that you guys may have about playing, or about any techs or ideas to use the deck. No, I have no intention on getting any Exciton or Arc until they get reprinted. Exciton is stupidly overpriced, and Arc is also stupidly overpriced. I mean, if I could get my hands on each of them for a reasonable for a reasonable price, or if I didn't have to trade freaking an arm and a leg to get them, yes, they'd be in my extra deck, but Arc and Exciton are like stupidly overpriced. And I'm thinking if that new rank 4 Castel Avian Skyblast or whatever the heck he's called is not a Bloody Secret rare, which it's probably gonna be, just because, you know, budget players get no love around here. I will likely take out Evilstorm Ouroboros for Castel, if Castel's not a fucking arm and a leg, because the only real effect I use with this guy is he's 2750, so I do use him to beat down, but primarily it's usually, oh, you have a Stardust Dragon on the board, let me just summon Ouroboros so I can bounce it back to the extra deck. So I primarily just use his bouncing effect, and I could use probably Castel more effectively than Ouroboros, perhaps. So, yeah, that's the wind-up deck. Hope you guys enjoyed it. Like I said, any suggestions you have, I welcome, and I'll talk to you guys later.